Thank you for being so interested in viewing rare images. The neon glow of Times Square in 1934 was a beacon of modernity. Amid the Great Depression, these bright lights offered escapism. Advertisements for cigarettes, theaters, and radios promised a better tomorrow. Crowds gathered here, not just for entertainment, but to feel the pulse of a city that refused to slow down. Chicago's Union Station, completed in 1924, was a cathedral of transportation. Its grand Beaux-Arts arches welcomed millions of travelers, from businessmen to immigrants starting new lives. Henry Ford's assembly line made the Model T a familiar sight, even on rural roads. By 1925, over half of America's cars were Ford, transforming travel from a luxury to a daily necessity. In 1921, King and Jack Dempsey were undisputed boxing champions. Over 300,000 fans crowded around radios and public screens to hear the fight of the century. This photo captures the raw energy of a nation hungry for heroes. In 1901, beneath the chaotic streets of New York, laborers dug tunnels that would become its lifeline. Armed with pickaxes and dynamite, these sandhogs risked cave-ins to construct the IRT, America's first subway. Their grueling work laid the foundation for the city's future underground. Henry Ford's moving assembly line revolutionized the industry. By 1913, a Model T was rolling off the line every 90 minutes. This image shows the birth of mass production, where workers became cogs in a machine, but millions of people were able to use cars. Were the workhorses of America's railroads. By 1926, they hauled everything from coal to passengers, their whistles echoing through towns. This iron giant represents an era when trains bound the nation together, mile by smoky mile. While jets like the Comet arrived later, the 1920s saw the dawn of passenger flights. Propeller planes like the Ford Tri-Motor carried mail and brave travelers at 100 mph. These tin geese were noisy and cold, but they made the sky a new frontier. Before refrigerators, milkmen delivered fresh milk daily. Horse-drawn wagons like this one carried glass bottles door to door, a ritual of trust in an age before pasteurization laws. Children chased the wagon for a taste of cream, straight from the farm. The RMS Olympic, Titanic's sister ship, epitomized Gilded Age luxury. In 1911, her maiden voyage brought millionaires and hopeful immigrants alike to New York. This floating palace boasted grand staircases and Turkish baths. Joan Crawford's flapper persona in Our Dancing Daughters defined 1920s rebellion. Her Charleston dances and bobbed hair scandalized elders but inspired young women to shed corsets. Silent films like this one turned actors into gods, and Hollywood into a dream factory. Zoot suits, with their exaggerated shoulders and tapered ankles, were a bold rejection of wartime austerity. Worn by Black and Latino communities, these suits defied racism, sparking both admiration and violent zoot suit riots, a statement of identity, stitched in fabric. Anita Pomares was one of countless starlets chasing fame in Hollywood's silent era. With expressive eyes and coiled hair, she embodied the vamp, a seductive archetype. But when talkies arrived, many like her vanished, their voices unfit for the new screen. Babe Ruth didn't just play baseball, he rewrote its rules. His 60-home run season in 1927 made him a legend, swinging with abandon while pitchers trembled. Ruth's power mirrored America's post-war swagger. Bigger, louder, unapologetic. Vaudeville was America's variety show, a mix of acrobats, comedians, and opera singers. The Fisher Theater's marquee promised escape for a nickel, hosting acts from Houdini to young Charlie Chaplin. These stages birthed entertainment's future, one pratfall at a time. Identified. Group. Charles Francis Jenkins, second from left, showing his mirror drum television receiver. George Eastman, left, and Thomas Edison with motion picture camera at Eastman's house in Rochester, New York, where a demonstration of the new Kodacolor film was being held. The 1920s saw women stepping into new roles, like these telephone operators, connecting calls with precision and patience. By 1940, their work would become vital to America's communication backbone, though their wages often lagged behind their male counterparts. Gas stations like this Marland outpost symbolized America's love affair with the open road. With just a pump and a simple canopy, they fueled the rise of road trips and the decline of horse-drawn travel. For rural families, appliances like this wringer washer were revolutionary, cutting hours of labor by hand. The Rural Electrification Act of 1936 would later bring power to millions, but in the 20s, such machines were still a luxury. The Dust Bowl's wrath began in the early 1930s, but its roots lay in the overfarming of the 1920s. This towering wall of dust swallowed homes and hopes, forcing thousands to abandon their land. By the 1930s, LA's Main Street blended old storefronts with sleek Art Deco facades, a testament to the city's rapid growth. Just a decade earlier, this same street might have been packed with Model Ts instead of streetcars. Before video games or televisions, kids turned alleys into stadiums with just a broomstick and a rubber ball. These improvised games were a hallmark of tight-knit urban neighborhoods, where every fire escape was a bleacher. Hancock-Greenfield Bridge, spanning Contoocook River. Forest Road, formerly O. Hancock, Hillsborough County, New Hampshire. 1937. Two children riding a horse, bareback, on Millbong Farm, Queensland, 1920s. Women's suffragists parade in New York City in 1917, carrying placards with the signatures of more than 1 million women. New York City Deputy Police Commissioner John A. Leach, right, watching agents pour liquor into sewer following a raid during the height of Prohibition, 1920. Lindbergh, second from right, in front of the Spirit of St. Louis, shortly before the flight to St. Louis. Photo taken on May 10, 1927, at Rockwell Field on North Island, the northern end of the Coronado Peninsula near San Diego. New York City's 69th Regiment returned from World War I to great fanfare, marching up Fifth Avenue from Washington Square to 115th Street. The backdrop here is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the site of the reviewing stand, where Governor Alfred E. Smith and Mayor John F. Hylan welcomed the troops home on April 28, 1919. In 1932, this piece of equipment, named a jumbo rig, was designed to speed up the Hoover Dam's tunnel drilling process. Built on the back of a 10-ton truck, 24 to 30 drills could be operated at once. Photo of an American family in the 1920s listening to a crystal radio. From a 1922 advertisement for Fried Eisenman radios in Radio World magazine. The small radio is on the table. Crystal sets work off the power received from radio waves, so they are not strong enough to power loudspeakers. Baseball player Joe Tinker in a Coca-Cola ad from 1913 in a Texas newspaper. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more new videos of rare historical photos. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on any new videos.